Hey guys, it's Casey and welcome back to my channel, and also welcome to today's topic, which is simulation theory. A very random topic for most people, but not for me. It is a topic that I discuss semi-regularly, at least once every 3 months when I go down to Melbourne, which, if you don't know, I'm forced to go down to Melbourne 4 times a year to go speak to some scientists and some psychiatrists and some other men in various coloured coats about things like simulation theory. I want to not so much just talk about it today as much as I want to rant about it, specifically because I've been thinking about it a lot lately. It's been like hot as Satan's ballsack here for the last couple of weeks, and so I've just been sitting around a lot when I'm not at work, thinking about things that annoy me, and this is one of the topics that annoy me because I don't understand why anybody cares. What difference does it make to you or the next person or the next scientist if the world is a simulation or not? And I never understand what it is they expect me to do about it when they come and tell me all this stuff. And it's always done very covertly. They will slide up next to me and be like, "The duck flies at midnight. I know that you know, and now you know that I know that you know." And it's like, okay, what do you want me to do about that? What do you want me to do with this information? Do you want me to throw you a party screaming congratulations at the top of my lungs while confetti falls from the ceiling? Or maybe they think that it's just this huge video game and I'm that side character that if you go up to and say this specific phrase to in a very specific sort of way, that the simulation's overlords will send them a notification saying achievement unlocked, enlightenment. But no, sorry, no, that's not how any of this works. You're not special. Nobody here among us is special. I'm not either. Just because this is not my first rodeo does not mean that I have any advanced knowledge of how to get the hell out of Dodge. And I think the Matrix has a big part to play in all of that. Let me just put this straight out there. This reality is nothing like The Matrix. The Matrix was a very fun movie, but if you're looking at it as an example of a simulation reality, all it really did was just sell you a big bowl of hope soup mixed with a little bit of paranoia. Wake up and take the red pill and see reality as it really is. No, that is nothing like what we're talking about here. You are not the protagonist. I am not the protagonist either. There is no protagonist among us. This entire world is just a narrative experiment. It is a historical reenactment for the years between 2015 and 2108 to see what happened in between those years, because that time period is a little bit hazy. It's a little bit of a gray area, a little bit of a Jesus period where the big events are kind of covered and the rest of it's just, there's a few dragons flying around. There's nothing really to know what happened between that period. So that's basically what this is. This isn't even The Sims. This is City Skylines or Planet Coaster. I think what annoys me the most about the scientists who bring me simulation theory as if it's some kind of revolutionary, fresh ideology is that it's not even remotely new. Big thinkers, religious figureheads, philosophers, they have been contemplating simulation theory for generations. They've been running on a treadmill for centuries and making no progress with it, while contemplating the fact that reality is really just a dream or an illusion or anything like that. For example, you've got Plato's Cave. That's simulation theory. Decan's evil demon. Simulation theory. I could go on and on because there's about 2,000 examples. So this idea that our reality is nothing more than an elaborate software system is not groundbreaking in any way, shape, or form, and when you bring it to me as if it is, I'm bored, I'm not impressed, and I'm not amused by it. Because at the end of the day, the real question is not, is this world a simulation? The real question should be, so what if it is? Knowing the truth doesn't change anything. Whether or not this world is a simulation, you still have to live in it. You still have to get up every single morning and brush your teeth and go to work and ooh and ah at the picture of Karen in accounting's children's when she shows them to you on a Monday morning. Knowing the truth does not break the simulation in any way, shape, or form. The Overlord, he does not give a shit. He's not going to pause the game and hand you a cheat code just because you piece the puzzle together. And look, I know that is not the epic call to arms that you were probably expecting me to give you, but it is what it is. If you're hoping that there's some kind of exit point from the simulation, if there is one, I have not found it yet. And like I said, I'm in a better position to find it because this, as I said earlier, was not my first rodeo. However, the last simulation that I was in was a parasitic simulation, and this is a bit different to that. So maybe I am in the same boat as everyone else. It's probably for the best, because the parasitic simulation, like, we died a lot in that, in a lot of really horrific ways. Like I said, this kind of simulation is more like a city skylines situation, where the parasitic simulation was they were farming emotions and fear, and like, even there are many different circumstances in that one. It was not the only one that I've been in, but this is the first like full-blown historical simulation that I've been in, and I'm not a big fan of it. Well, actually, I am a big fan of it, because I just get to sit around all day and watch movies and eat food, and I have a cool little job in a hospital where the most urgent case that I see on a day-to-day basis most of the time is just like really bad arthritis. So I can't complain. It's a very easy life, even though your like movies and TV series, because of the nature of the simulation, are quite shit. Anyway, the point that I was trying to make before I went off on a side tangent was that awareness itself does not give you any power to break the situation. In fact, on the contrary, awareness at a certain extent is just another part of the program itself. It's not real, it's just a simulated construct using predictive algorithms. Again, what does that actually change? It changes absolutely nothing in your life. I mean, are you suddenly going to stop paying taxes just because it's part of a coded environment? Are you going to tell your boss to shove it just because his authority is only as good as his rendering? No, you're not going to do anything. I mean, yeah, you could technically do anything you wanted to in that regards, but if you do, don't come crying to me if you suddenly find your simulation upgraded to the brand new homeless DLC package. Your memories of the summer of 2009 are still effectively your memories, even if technically speaking, they're just AI generated. For all intended purposes, you still live, and you still eat, and you still feel a mild sense of satisfaction when you pop bubble wrap. Now, whether or not that mild sense of satisfaction is just simulated or if it's real, it doesn't make a difference. It makes absolutely no difference in the grand scheme of things, because you still experience it in the exact same way. So the simulation, it does not cheapen that experience, and it does not take it away. What it does, the only thing it does, the only difference that it makes is that it puts a different label on the box. That's it. Think of it kind of like you've gone to a carnival and you've gone on one of those really shitty virtual reality rides. Like, you know, the type where you go on and you sit down in a seat and they start moving and the screen in front of you makes you think that you're on a real roller coaster, even though you're really just in a shitty container on a piece of machinery that moves, that's being operated by a teenager who smells like old nachos. It's a bit like that. Like, does it matter whether or not you were actually on a roller coaster? Because at the end of the day, you get off that ride and your stomach is still churning and your heart rate is risen and you feel sweaty and alive. So you pretty much have been on a roller coaster, even though technically speaking you haven't. Life is just a longer, more convoluted version of that ride. It doesn't need to be real. You just need to feel like it's real, and you do most of the time. And the world keeps spinning, regardless of whether it's simulated or not. And you keep existing, and more importantly, you keep feeling. Pain still hurts, and love still screws you over, and hunger still sucks. The world being a simulation does not diminish its beauty at all. It does not make sunsets any less stunning, and it does not make love any less chaotic. It just means that that beauty and that chaos is part of the design. But that code does not make your experiences and things that you've gone through in life any less yours. It does not make pain any less painful, and it does not make joy any more joyful. You are not Neo, and you are not Truman. You are not going to find the edge of the universe and break free of it. And truthfully, history does not remember the little people, and so when the simulation needed to fill the world up with them, they did so through AI. And you know what? That's okay, because you do not need to escape the simulation. And if none of this made sense to you, then maybe you have a glitch in your programming, or maybe I have a glitch in mine. Either way, deal with it. After all, it's not like any of this is real, right? This is Katie signing off for the night. As always, stay weird out there, stay safe, and I don't know, maybe unwind with a game with The Sims to see how much worse things could be. After all, it's not like anyone can delete your doors in this simulation.